Yo, welcome back to the next show of the Born Again Believers motherfucking show where we gonna make your ass a born again believer to some real open truth, man. Where you can this is a place where you can just be you. Of course, you know I got my dog, my right hand man, my main man, King Khan on the line. What it do, brother?
What's going on, man? What it is? What's poppin' with everybody, man? I hope everybody's doing good today. I don't know if y'all know in Black History today, but today is a special day, and it's 5 more goddamn days to our celebration. If you don't know what June 19th is,
Juneteenth. Juneteenth.
Shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Hey.
almost there. Let's start getting ready for our celebration. If you're not celebrating it, you a sucker. And that's just all that is to it.
Yeah.
Let's roll with it.
So, man, today, let me just paint the picture of who we have on the line, man. Let me dive into my inner Nori, my inner drink champ right now, man. First off and foremost, this brother is out of Dallas, Texas. Secondly, this brother is a revolutionary. If you come at him slick, he gonna put you in place, and he don't give a dang about your race. uh, thirdly, this brother is a motivated person, man. Like I think we have about a year of knowing each other right now, just off of social media. I watched this brother run distances that only Forrest Gump could accomplish. The only difference is this brother right here didn't grow all that hair that Forrest did doing it. It was easy for him. It was light. Also, I will say this. I think he is a long range shooter. I think he's on some sniper type stuff.
I'm in that 100-yard, 700-yard club.
700-yard club. So, if the wind blowing hard as hell, could you still knock the eye out of a bird flying?
Man, I broke my calculator out, a piece of pen and a paper, give me a good window shoulder, and I hit that.
Hey.
I'm good at the calculator pen.
Yeah. Hey, so y'all done heard his voice. The man that already got technical with you about a firearm and what it can do in heavy conditions when it comes down to knocking the eye out of a bird flying. I want to introduce y'all, man, to my guy, man, King LB out of Dallas, Texas. Salute to you, brother, man. Thank you for coming, man. While I'm bigging this brother up, man, let me also say this on the I guess I can say on the Pan African tip. On a revolutionary tip, this brother that we got on the line is a member of the Huey P. Newton Gun Club.
Yes,
First off, before we dive in, bro, I gotta say salute before we get started. Look, man, I can't even do this yet. Look, King Khan. When I got the okay that this brother was coming online, man, I went and found me some camouflage because I feel like I'm about to get the war report right now. You know what I'm saying? Look, hey, I had to go get some camouflage because I feel like I'm about to get stirred up and get the war report in just a second, man. So, with that being said, also, let me say something else, man. This man is the only man that made me go dig in my dresser drawer and put a little something on today. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about it in the form of jewelry. I went and got my good ring out and put it on today, man, because, you know, I seen my brother online, man. He had a little shine. And I said, man, you know, I seen him online. He had a little shine, old man. And I said, hey, man, I got to come correct, man. Ain't no telling what he going to come with on this day.
$10,000 bus down.
I saw it. That boy had the big rolling. Yeah, platinum. Yeah. Sexy. Just straight up like that. Sexy, for real. I said, hey, man, look, go get your stuff, man. Go get your stuff and get ready. So, all right, man. Today, I just want to point out, man, today in today's history, man, today on this day in 1864, Congress got off their ass and decided that black soldiers must receive equal pay as everybody else in the military, man. Wow.
You know, I really feel like you can't speak on that without speaking on equal pay for equal skill, equal work, equal ability, anything you do. Now, you know, defending the country is one of the most important jobs. Don't get me wrong, there ain't nothing wrong with defending the country if your country will fight for you. But when you say something like the military or a black person, always politics. It's never out the heart of white people to give somebody that's willing to lay down their life to pay. If it sounds good, there's always some sort of an agenda behind it. There's always an ulterior motive. There's always some sort of incentive. But the incentive seems like it doesn't cover the whole. It's only for a certain few. You know, that goes that saying, no such thing as, your well-to-do type of black person that's well off, that's in the public, love and this and that. Oh, ain't good. In terms of like the military, I think when you equal pay, you gotta dig a little bit deeper and mean equal pay. You know what I mean?
For sure. Hey, when you talk, man, hey, I don't know if there's something covering up your microphone or something like that, but sometimes you go in and out. But I got everything that you said loud and clear. P, on this day in 1864, brother, they decided to give us equal pay, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you wasn't gonna be. Let's be completely honest. You wasn't gonna be able to move forward without doing it. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes down to combat and it comes down to anything, a type of warfare, when you're going out there to step out there and put your life on the line, morale is one of the most goddamn important things we're gonna have to deal with right now.
Keep you going.
And they keep it going and looking to your left and looking to your right, and being completely comfortable with the man you got on your left and your right and your front and your back.
Yeah.
So, for giving a black man, in my perspective, and seeing if I was there, knowing that, the quality is starting to get evened out before it happens, before we're going into war and before we continue on our careers in the military, that would make a black person feel some type of respect in the matter. But I already know that's just the beginning of a long battle that never really ended. There's so much racial tension that still goes on in the Army to this day.
Yeah.
There's secret societies that are split up between KKK members. I mean, we've also integrated with our culture. We have gangs inside of the Army, so it's not nothing new. We've adapted to the culture well, as far as what they wanted it to be when they started out letting black people in the military.
Righteous. Yeah.
Go back to what you mentioned when you said, it's kind of hard for a person to go into the service or go onto a foreign battle, lay their life down, so to speak. So when you say an incentive like raise the pay, you can't go into a situation like that with a poor morale.
Right. You can't.
So like you said, like I said earlier, the ulterior motive, and they can give you for right now to go over there and hope now you got something to hold on to. So maybe that's just going to snatch from you anyway. You just want to make you feel good for the time being to go over. You know what I'm saying? You give me a house to go defend my country, and maybe I may make it back, maybe I won't. But my thing is, if you're over there with the thought in mind that you're going to go, you're going to fight, you're going to come home, and then everything is going to be good. You be taking care of it. It don't happen like how many?
No, it doesn't.
My dad, my whole family comes from military background, and then when they come back home, you still get the nigga treatment. You still get the class citizen treatment. They be decorated, all of these things. They'll pump you up to, maybe things will change and that. But when you come back, same old.
Hey, did you serve?
No, I haven't. But I'll be honest with you. 90% of my family come from the Navy and the Army. My dad My dad died around, I'm 32. He spent his whole life, my granddad's whole life, all the women in my, most of the men in my family, all served. 2007, I went all the way up to my asthma and my duck walks and all the batteries to get you to take inside of the building before you bust it. And that's the same instance that I found the Nation of Islam, like not saying like I joined the Nation of Islam, just the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. But the teaching that got my was a teaching. I remember he said, "How can you fight for a country that's not willing to fight for you?" I literally walked out on my test, like literally just the building and walked out. And I thought about that, man. You know, back then, going forward, I just wanted to do something with my life. You got college, maybe business, maybe service or something like that. You know, just I really discovered the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for the fact I probably would have walked out of that building. So, you know, I benefit from teachings. I'm not in the thing, not registered or anything like that, but I benefit from aspects of what, you know, he left in play. Nothing that could be beneficial for anybody. Knowing I'm going to fight for my, he would have told me then I couldn't see it, you know, unless you explain the way that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained it. I thought I was doing something good with my life. I didn't know I was throwing it away. I really feel like hearing that saved me from getting on that bus.
Man. Hey, you know what, man? I did 10 years in the Army. And I entered when I was young, you know what I'm saying? But had I had the mind that I have now, or even had somebody whispered in my ear like you got, you know what I'm saying, that would have dropped something on me, because even at that age when I was coming in, I was a little wise for my age. You know, I would have received that and filtered that through my mental and then broke it down into what I feel like I needed out of it, and then I would have stood in it. You know, I completely agree with you on what you're saying, man. What I can say, though, as a veteran, it is a lifesaver for a lot of people that didn't apply themselves in school.
It is.
It will keep your nose afloat as long as your mental and your body can maintain itself if you playing the game of survival.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of things that you spoke on boils down to the psyche of it. You know what I mean? Like when they build you up to enter into the service, right? Something hits your pride button and makes you feel warm towards it. Like, this is something that I feel like I need to step into, right? Then once you get into that door, there's a stripping process. You know what I'm saying? Where they're gonna strip you of that. Pardon me if I say it, but that nigga that walked in here, right, with the slouch and the slag pants hanging down and shit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm finna turn you into a warrior, you know what I'm saying? So they strip you down and then they build you up with a whole different type of mental where everybody around you is basically forced to agree with what the superiors is putting into you, which channels programming, right? To you, you still holding on to that you are you, and somehow in the thick of it, you build a pride for what you standing in, to the point where I can say when I left Fort Benning, Georgia, out of basic training, right, I was ready to die for my country, bruh.
That's what I was about to go. Fort Benning.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Hey, for those of y'all out there that don't know nothing about Fort Benning, that's the home of the Rangers, man. And also, when I was there, I think they may have changed it by now, but when I was around back yonder, they say it was an all-male post. Ooh, a lot of testosterone going on around there. Man, the only women on that base was in the supply room and in the kitchen. And the women in the kitchen were big and black and wide and all outside, and they ain't looked that right. But after a while, if you kept going through there, cause you ain't seen no woman in a while, that woman back yonder started looking, hey, it started looking like a steak. you feel me? She don't look like chitlins no more. She look like a steak.
But the beautiful thing about it is, though, I feel like military is necessary. It ain't nothing wrong. You know, it's some countries on this earth that, you know, how you say we may go to college, we may go to service, we may start a business. You know, places like some places in China, being part of the military is necessary first.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with fighting, bleeding, and dying for your country. For example, I don't, and I'm not, I'm just trying to clip a misconception, you know, and I'm not, how can I say, anybody that's in the service or has joined the service or plans to go, when you have it on your mind and on your heart that what you're doing is the right thing and you fight for some rights. So I'm not knocking the soldier. I'm knocking, you know, the reasons you may have to leave home. And I really feel like the best example I can put towards that is like you say the most important wars or wars that we don't know about or secret wars that's happened or is happening now. It's like if you go with the best intention of your mind to be like you're doing the right thing with your life or for your country, but if it's on the basis of a lie, it's like if you lie to me, now my mind is operating on the basis of a lie.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So you said if you got an enemy, right, and I don't know your enemy, but you lie and say your enemy drove by your house and shot your house up, and I'm your best friend, I'm your right, and I got no reason to distrust my brother, so I go for revenge for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you wrong because you lied, and then you got my mind operating off the basis of a lie that what I'm doing is wrong, but I think I'm doing right. And I use as an example, say this: you say when you go to war on the basis of a lie. It's all politics, it's all financial, it's all money driven. So you say how is 50,000, 175,000 lives worth some like oil, some like territory, some like installing, removing government and installing your own government in places that you want to occupy. So it's like being it's a good thing to be a soldier and it's a good thing to save your country, but it's a bad thing to go in, you know.
I'm gonna say this. Don't none of us need to be within those ranks. The sad part is you don't figure out the truth until years later after you're done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you sit back and really analyze your life and retrace the things that you saw and maybe the things that you have done, and you start putting those puzzle pieces together with the maturity that you have gained later, you see clearer. And it's never what it seems. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, with like you're right. I don't know if it's military is okay, but I will say discipline is a necessary for any and everybody. But if we talking on the wavelength where we talking as a people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We definitely have a switch in us that wants to be a little free and a little wild. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we do need to have a switch that tells us when to draw it in and get serious.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, but hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't count shit out. I ain't gave up. I don't tap. I fight until you cut me off. You hear me? So, hopefully through this platform right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
it'll, you know, the expansion of conversation that we have, that it would open something in somebody's mind and make them think a little deeper, and make them actually look at themselves and see where they can begin some self-correcting. P,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I need you to come on and add on into this, man.
Being from a group of people from a young age that was also very high military, it was always something that was looked upon from me and my family, and the way we looked at it, looked at it as a good thing to go into the military. My dad always asked me to go into the military, and when I had gotten to my lower ages of the teenage years, where it seemed like my 20s are coming and I didn't have a plan, coming from a culturally white neighborhood. So, like, you know, you seeing all your peers go to college, and that wasn't one of my options at that point in time. So, military was definitely something that was on my mind. But every one of my peers that I was around that was older than me and that was already into the military never allowed it. I wasn't allowed to entertain the idea of going in the military. That's just real. You know, a lot of people, like I said, I salute and I thank everybody for their service. This country would be nothing without defense and without an offensive military mind to go get out the things to make sure that our quality of life is better, no matter our morale beliefs in it. Our government goes out and gives us our comfortabilities in life. We live a certain lifestyle because of the way our government moves, because of the way that our military takes control of the situation, and people have not even double thought to invade our country because of the way our military moves.
Only once.
Yeah, I mean, of course, somebody
Only
made a
once they
mistake,
got slick,
and they will never make that mistake again.
because we went to the extreme.
That no, they no, we
Like
went to
like
where
we willing to
we
destroy
went to
your
where
whole.
warfare is supposed to be.
We willing
When
to
you
destroy your whole
you
country.
destroy it. You don't hit soft.
Yeah,
You destroy it and you make a message for everybody else publicly. Don't you ever do that shit again.
that's exactly what it came down to.
Yeah.
Like them folks over there in the West Wild, they will drop a nuke on you, an atomic bomb on you.
We will let this all go.
Yeah, and you know, while we talking about how the murder rate can get,
Yeah.
to this date, since the start of the year, 246 mass shootings, and we've only heard about a handful of them.
I'm glad you said that. And it to take no credibility away from, you know, a mass shooting being exactly what the news tells you it is a mass shooting. I really feel like when something happens, no matter what it is, as far as a tragedy or a mass shooting or anything of that nature, if it's true, it shouldn't be no conspiracy, it shouldn't be no question or nothing. I'm not going to dig too deep into it, but the concept I'm trying to get at is it. I'm not saying none of it's staged, but you really got to think. Like you take situations like, let me use a small example, one of many I'm probably pull from. You take something like 9/11 or something like that. You know how much conspiracy around that event, how much, you know, from the whole thing, from the getting out the insurance on the building in case it gets hit by a plane.
Bruh, that was planned. I ain't mean to interrupt you. Like that, I'm sorry. Like, we're not gonna talk about that, but let's do another one.
I'm kind of go. I'm not going all the way in it, but I want to use that as a quick example.
Good
right?
God.
Things like people who knew to take off of work beforehand. Things like people who knew to take out stock. Now check this out. This is a government that's not too much past killing its own people as long as it looks out for their bottom line and fulfills their agenda. Like, look at it like this. If you say who plans to benefit more of that happening or a doorway into, you know, those areas, you know, let me use that as an example. I'm not comparing that to no mass school shooting. All I'm saying is it. If you can put something of that mass of a scale, is this government too past planning a mass shooting or orchestrating a mass in order to have a reason to manipulate gun rights so they can take guns from you know?
Duh. You nailed it.
Yeah.
You didn't even.
They sacrificing for that purpose.
They don't either, by the way.
And the one thing I look about this situation is this, and if this like being on just attacking the mental levels of all black people and just trying to come at our insecurities. Why when we know, do we question it? We know that's what happened. We know they want our guns. We know that they'll take their own to go get it. We know they will sacrifice. They don't listen.
All that shit is bait. You know what I'm saying?
You know, like,
it's bait.
It's just like a whole different level of I don't care. And what is, you got to think about it. And we read The Art of War. I'm not sitting here, I'm not talking to uneducated people right now. We have read The Art of War. Sacrifices must be made to uphold the kingdom.
Bruh.
Sacrifices will be made.
I'm gonna say this. Okay, everything that they doing is strategy, right?
Facts.
Everything that they doing is like, let me roll out this bait. It's a provoking piece of bait, right?
Yes.
To see what type of response they gonna get, right? They trying everything, and for some odd reason they haven't hit the red switch on us yet, to where everybody just like goes into complete chaos, right? But for them to try to control guns, they are willing to sacrifice themselves, because if they can't get their way through our actions, then they will use their actions for the reasons to still push forward.
They'll use fear tactics.
But they won't point it at them. You see what I'm saying? They'll say something like the American people. Now I'm about to get fired up, because now, you know, you got all these mass shootings going on, right? We're not doing the fucking mass shootings. You know what I'm saying? So they won't hold the mirror at themselves and be like, hey, the Neanderthals are doing all the mass shootings and whatever and whatnot, right? Maybe they need to go through some type of intense background checking, screening, mental evaluation, deeper than those that are that, or if you want to break it by race, since they like to, or how you say it, colonize everything. Yeah. If you want to break it by race, then they need to be treated a little more delicate, I guess I could say, right? They shouldn't have that open bridge where they could just run across it like the average man that's not doing all of the rubbish that they have been doing since the beginning of time in the switch of power. That's what I'm trying to get across. Like, when, well, I can't even ask when, because that's a ghostly question, but somewhere down the line, somebody needs to be the one that's unafraid to be held accountable, willing to face the truth and correct the fouls of that. Not saying you got to do everything, but common sense. I know I hate to say this. My grandfather used to say common sense ain't so common. I understand that in business. You know what I mean? Now I'm understanding that politically.
Yeah.
It's not about common sense, but common sense says that you should flip a few pages back in history and bring your scales out and measure the weighing of each class that occupies this country and keeps it coming. And adjust that shit to an even playing field. And honestly, fuck all the rest of them niggas' feelings that feel some type of way if we do gain some type of advantage out of it to give us a leap back into the game. You know, because, bitch, y'all got everything. Even the motherfuckers that, let me be cool. But the motherfuckers that swing on the other side of the fence, right? They even got something that's multi-raced.
Man, I'm not even gonna speak. You ain't gonna say that the LGBTQ community is getting way more motherfucking rights, getting way more motherfucking advantages from their plight and their movement. I literally was looking at
because they are in office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, me personally, you said whether it be entertainment, whether it be politics or whatever, I like to call them the gay mafia. the homos that run Hollywood, the record companies, all of these things.
Yo,
I, you know,
I got one for you
yeah.
to add to your list of names.
Wesley Monk.
Just hold on to what you got to say, right?
Okay.
Now, I was talking to a fella earlier today, right? And he was telling me that he was sitting around a couple of fellas in the swimming pool and they was all chopping it up, saying this Florida. So, like, in these condominium buildings, they got open pools and people just be out there kicking it, right? And he was having a conversation about the other side of the street with him, right? And then he said, yeah, man, over here in this area, such and such, they all down with that Greekism.
That's
And
what I'm a Greek freak.
yo.
That's
Boy, that was a good punch right there, boy. I just saw the truth. Look, when you said that the Greek freak, I just flashed back through his whole life story. How far at the bottom he came up. Man, I hope that wasn't part of the plan because he is African. He was running from death in Africa when he ended up over there in Greece.
And I really feel like, and when you, in modern terms, the reason the agenda isn't the agenda, homosexuality, all facets of life, whether entertainment, politics, whatever, that's not threatening to our government, a gay black man.
At all.
I really feel like you say, how can you make somebody neutral? And that's why it's pushed. So it's crazy thing, man. I got 4 stepchildren, right?
Yeah.
And I watch and I start to pay real close attention to the television shows. I see it in television. I see it in school programs. I see it everywhere. I really feel like there's no way they can come right out and just kill all of us in mass. It's more like a silent war.
No, hey, what the system is a very patient system.
Exactly.
That thing will take, let's say, 20 to 100 years, right? Just to see one plan come true as it inches its way forward through each generation.
Exactly. And I really feel like when I say like the silent war, like, if you can act out, come and say you finish, I really feel like, you can't fight a war at home the same way you would somewhere else. I feel like what be getting shot when you get pulled over, whether it's for the food, it's a lot. Kill them over. I really feel like a lot of this stuff was us. You know what I mean? I think if not being outright, how else can a person new? If you're pushing in a gay agenda on them, and I'll be honest with you, family. You say black men, I don't know about any these here. It seems way accepted. I really feel like men like us are the small 10%, and the rest are okay with things like that. So you say chances of having black men that maybe could have views, or maybe could have been of a vanguard or some sort of a militia, like you working with a small percentage now that won't go for a thing like that. Man, I'm 35 years old. I don't remember no time in my life where it's most dangerous to have a problem with somebody being homosexual, saying something that goes against, or it's a hate crime to that. If they can't kill you outright, they're going to try their best to make you homo. I really feel like it. But I really feel like they try their best to make you neutral, therefore,
I will say this. I come from a time. I'm a few laps older than you. I come from a time where that type of party was completely secretive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I was coming up, I did witness like people that was that way even when I was in high school, right? in high school you could tell that they were, but a lot of them wasn't ready to just say it outright. You know what I mean? I've seen the abuses. I've seen the beatings. You know what I'm saying? That happens to them and everything like that, right? I never grew up with friends, to my knowledge, that was of that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But even with me going through the military, I never knew anybody like that unless they just really was good at keeping a secret, right? You know what I'm saying? And respected me, my masculinity. But as I got older, let's say when I was in the music industry and even now in the hair industry, right?
Mhm.
I deal with that on a daily now, you know what I'm saying, through clientele, right? So what it was for me, it wasn't really a big adjustment. It was just me looking at the situation like that's a human. I might not agree with what they're about, and they got good goddamn sense just like we do, right? They know what I'm about. As they walk up on me, they can feel that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? They human. So, with that being said, I respect that fact because I respect man. Period.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't get down like that, don't mean I have to look down at those that do it. They got their own cross to carry, and each man has a choice, and that's on them in the end. You know what I'm saying? Long as as long as who I feel like I call the Most High God, right, is looking down on me with confidence, like I'm gonna give him a well done when it's over with. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's what I can control. You know what I'm saying? So now I will be 100. This hair industry is something more different than I've ever dealt with in my life, right? Um, they are curious people, man.
Yeah.
They want to know. They want to know how we feel too about certain things, but they want to feel safe in return. This is what
Okay.
I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys aren't as masculine as they should be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys aren't as electric as they should be. I'm talking about as far as force and strength and brute and
Yeah.
everything else that adds on to make you a man. You know what I'm saying? In the end, bro, me personally with this platform, if it go down, can you motherfucking shoot, man?
I was just about to say that. Exactly.
You hear me, man? I don't give a damn where you point that thing you got,
I ain't gonna lie.
but when
That
you
Paul
pick up
scared.
that
I ain't know
other
what he was
thing
about to
in the
say.
form of defense, can you shoot
I
that
ain't
mother?
know what he was about to say. I was scared as shit when he paused. You know what, man? This how I feel. That pause, I was like, oh shit.
Hey, but hey, I'm just like this.
Yeah.
You know, at this time, at this emergence point that I feel inside of me at this point, right,
Yeah.
man, can you shoot, man?
Yeah, and that's exactly your point you're trying to make is exactly what I was saying, you know. And don't get me wrong, you say when you love your people and you know your people ain't all the way right, you know, if you right, don't get me wrong, you can't clean up nobody else's life unless you clean up yours first. Mine clean. So it ain't my position to judge nobody. But when somebody makes a life that's non-reproductive, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? You would think you would try to steer that person that way. That ain't none of my business. But I can honestly say this: no matter how I feel about that, I'm not. You're not getting shot or killed because this one may be straight, it be the other way, where we still kill that. Right? They ain't asking you about your religion or your sexual preference or no none of that.
Right.
That level, I really feel like it's already kind of going on right now, like a mass awakening as a means of self-defense. So how important defending this is or joining something that might defend yourself, you know. You know, in these gun clubs, you may have brothers that, you know what I mean? But like I said, these are people that are with, you know, fight for their people. All of these guys are regular Joes, you know, whether you got a job, you're a business owner, anything like that. I've met everything you can think of, you know, whether it be Huey P. Newton, New Black Panther Party, any of that, you know what I mean? But I respect the fact that the reason you in, because when it really, really comes down to it, and it really comes down to defend your people, because at the end of the day, we know what the worst thing that happened. You know what I mean? You know, but if that's the case, you know what I mean? It don't matter, you know, how you live life as long as you for your people. And so I try not to go too deep into it, which I don't agree with it, but like I said, hell, somebody think about me, you know what I mean?
Hey, I'ma stand on it too. I don't agree with it. It's not part of my lifestyle. I don't raise my children in that way. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I still got to make a living out here, and I still have a purpose to try to serve, and that's try to reach out to whomever is willing to listen to some sort of truth, so that we can try to shift into a new, some type of starting point that hopefully that with righteous blessings upon it that will spread like a wildfire.
And you really got to get so, bro, like really think about it. You know, just in this year, years, all of this stuff we've been experiencing, you really have to admit that on some sort of a scale, it seems like when I say like, I'm gonna say away from spooky shit. I say like, and then like you see is whether it be black, brown, whatever, even poor, white, you're collectively starting to like, you know, see the hip, you know, see, how can I say this? We collectively, I say, waking up at, you know, to what's really important. It seems like the whole movement, or whether it be people agreeing one certain way or joining movements, or like seeing how hypocritical this government is, or seeing how, you know what I mean? It really seems like people are waking up, you know, to a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all that time. You know what I mean? But yeah. How you doing, fam?
Hey man, we got the angry black man up in here, man. The angry black man that snuck up in here, man. Hey man, angry black man. Hey yo, this King LB right here, man. King LB. This the angry black man, man.
Yeah, where you from, fam?
I'm from Houston.
Oh, you right down the street.
Oh, there it is.
He in Dallas, man.
Yeah, okay, there it is.
Hey, and he a shooter. He a long range shooter.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, you showed up right on time, man. Because yo, we got a good subject that we're gonna talk about today. Yo, P, did you get your notes out that you want to rap on, bro? Before we shift in,
Yes, I did.
you got it all out.
This always there, man. It's always here, man.
What you got? What you got?
Before we move on to this subject today, I want to give a special shout out, since it is June 14th. Today, in 1921, Georgiana R. Simpson earned a PhD in German literature for the University of Chicago, becoming the first black woman to earn a doctorate in the United States. So today women should be really proud of how far they've become, because in certain times on this day, a long time ago, we was crossing grounds to do great things just for women to be able to do anything on this earth. And now they're independent CEOs and walking around like they rule the world. So let's celebrate that.
Straight up. Straight up.
Again, I want to get us a pre-celebration. Like I said, June 19th is coming. Y'all don't know what that is. It's officially Juneteenth, National Independence Day, also known as Jubilee Day, Emancipation Day, Freedom Day, and Black Independence Day. It is a federal holiday in the United States commemorating the emancipation of the enslaved African Americans. They can give us a day, but where's my pay? But
Hey, hey,
I'm
hey,
saying,
they give us a day at the shortest month of the dang year.
I get it. You
Man,
know what I
hold
mean?
up, man. We
Hey,
get the
man,
short end of the
hey.
stick and everything, man.
Yeah,
Everything,
man.
man.
I feel you, dog. You guys doing your thing.
Man. Hey,
I, go ahead.
go. No, you good. Come on.
Okay, I wanted to circle back on my man. I also want to be like congratulate, like I'm kind of in awe. But when you say that, you know, King LB is a part of the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, you got to show some type. You got to show some pride to that because if you know who Huey Percy Newton was, you would understand what he stands for. You will understand what he's exactly what you want to look at as a man of our culture. This man was not, he was ready to lay down his life for our culture.
Hey, man. I would have posted up on the throne just like he did on the straw throne. I would have posted up on that thing too, man. Probably would have had me a couple of Dobermans at my feet.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Speaking of Huey P. June the 18th, 19th, I'm pretty sure y'all know the story of Natchez, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from Memphis, man.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I remember you said that. Okay.
Yeah, that's right down the road, man. I done been in the woods.
Well, it's looking now. You know, I just recently started up with my own truck and trailer. So
You did what?
I just recently business with my own truck and trailer. So we're gonna be down 18th of still just to make it out there. But it is just a march for solid death. Just paying the answer.
Hey, your phone breaking up terribly. Do you have a headset or something?
I thought it was my stuff.
I got it.
No. I really want them to hear him, man. But this been going on for the majority of the show, and you talking some real stuff that sounds like you got something planned that needs to be heard.
Let me try to take you out for the Wi-Fi. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Oh, okay. I think that's probably my Wi-Fi trying to kick in at the same time Bluetooth is on. But I was going to say, you know, recently I just went into business for myself with my own truck and trailer. So my time now,
Congratulations on that, too.
Yeah, big up.
thank you a lot. You know, so I'm gone a lot now, and I got a limited amount of time back at home, you know, before I got to go back out. So my plans was to be down there with Huey P. Newton Gun Club, which if I did mention earlier, the 18th and the 19th of this month, Huey P. Newton, along with every other gun club and militia you can possibly think of, be in Natchez, Mississippi. It'll be an armed march. It's going to be about a handful of miles, maybe 2 miles, and it's all paying homage to our ancestor in Natchez, Mississippi. So we'll be down there, and full force and whatever you can think of, and full armament. So I'm still trying my best to put the time aside to be able to do it, but obviously I got a business to run, so I may not be able to be.
Yo, this March, is that open to anybody black?
Honestly, I would have to ask somebody. I mean, of course, but obviously membership plays a key role too.
Just saying, just in case some of these brothers out here that haven't picked or choose, you know what I'm saying, or they may have an organization that nobody even knows about, you know what I'm saying, that they might want to expose themselves for the first time.
Yeah, I can call my commander and I'm gonna ask him, how open is it? Because very rude. It's only a handful of people that's kind of orchestrating, to be down there. So I ask him first and get that information, then I can.
Shoot that to me, man. So like on one of the next segments, I can immediately put that out. You know what I'm saying?
So what's the plan? Y'all going down there to pass out sandwiches or
No.
what? What's the deal?
No sandwiches.
What's the deal?
But basically, in honor of June 19th, in honor of the 20,000 slaves that were starved to death, that area that we would be in and it's just paying homage to the ancestors, of course, but it's going to be well over probably 20,000 of anything you can possibly think of.
Okay.
That's really what it's for. But more beyond that, it'll probably be other things outside of that also, going on. But for the most part, it's just you taking time out of your schedule, putting on somebody armor, picking up your rifle, and getting in formation. That's all it is.
Gotcha.
Just so basically, it's an organization to show that we do have some sort of show of force.
So military power, definitely.
Show some sort of force. And you said that it could be capacitated at about 20,000 people?
That's a safe bet. I'm pretty sure that's off, but you gotta remember, Huey P. Newton is just out front with the most common things like New Black Panther Party and other things you can think of. There's hundreds of thousands of other black militias and gun clubs all over America. So I can say it's really no telling. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Really but you can definitely count on the big number.
I know how the SIP get down. It don't take much to get folks out the house. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's going down. You know what I'm saying?
Any country that entertains the thought of war or the clouds of war gather. You take Korea, for example. Hey, they have damn parades for their missiles and their military power. This, aside from solidarity, is more or less just a show of strength. Can you imagine what 50, 60, 100,000 black men with rifles look like marching down the road and nobody, and we can't be touched?
Yo, let me tell you something. Hey, let me tell you something. I done put boots on the ground, right? And I done seen the sea of angry black men. You know what I'm saying?
Being FAC, for example, man.
I done felt that love to be just in that swarm of people that's all got their mind on one thing.
I've been in a few of them, and I tell you, bro, you can feel God moving.
I'm telling, hey, that love and that safety is completely different. Out of 10 years of being in the Army, bro, and I'm gonna tell you this straight up. I have done some wonderful works if we looking at like being courageous and bold and standing on your training and everything like that, right? I've done some courageous things with some raw individuals, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that I still hold on to this day like a lifeline, you know what I'm saying? And then the same for me. It's a team thing, a pride thing, right? But in that atmosphere, bro, with that type of energy, I felt way more relaxed.
Exactly.
Bruh, I did the initial wave in Baghdad, Iraq.
And that's the thing about it. You don't need a gun to feel that.
No.
Numbers.
It's different. It's different when it's your own.
Oh yeah.
That frequency. Okay. I was down in the dirt getting my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so around me, I would see a lot of white guys. You know what I'm saying? And we develop a brotherhood because our lives depend on each other. You know what I'm saying? Even the black guys that's involved, we programmed to that's your brother. You need him. You need him. You need him. So we get active together. We make it out of that. That makes the bond even tighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that takes time.
Exactly.
What I felt when it was just all of us around, it was immediate.
Yeah.
It didn't take no time. You know what I'm saying?
How you ever bumped into somebody, a brother or sister that you never met before, but you immediately feel comfortable? Like
Kindred spirits.
People, you know what I'm
Kindred
saying?
spirits.
Yeah, I mean, like take a black woman or something like that. Like she may be old enough to be like an aunt or a big cousin, something like that. I don't gotta know her, but my thing is, if we interact, I immediately feel like I've known you my whole life. So you say that feeling right there is a real close representation of, you say, like a whole of a organization. You feel like it's like a sense of family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, it was different. It was definitely different. And I pride them dudes that I served with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, got love for them. We've been through something. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing you can do to tear that apart. You know what I'm saying? But that right there, though, what I witnessed, bruh, every able-legged black man in America need to feel that one time.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm gonna tell you like I used to tell, man, when I was running, I'm trying to be clean tonight. I can't believe I'm being clean tonight. Hey, when I was running, man, I used to tell my dogs, man, put your heart in your motherfucking back pocket and sit on it, bro. It don't count right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wish like we as a people could put our hearts in our back pocket. You know what I'm saying? Bring that shit together, man. Like, we the only race. Like, I work in a public arena, bro, where I see brothers that's in power positions every day, right?
Yeah.
And they don't even acknowledge each other or my presence. And they could walk right by me. That motherfucker will pick his hand up to his phone or look the other way. We gotta stop that shit.
I feel the love. I know about it. Boots on the ground is definitely necessary. Uh, but besides that, I want to know, do you have any idea when? Okay, we have a lot of chapters, a lot of, like you say, a lot of people got militias, black militias. We find out they're all over the place, apparently. But besides the march, after the march, after the feeling good,
Mm-hmm.
then what?
Well, like I said again, the purpose of being out there for the 18th to 19th, sole purpose is to pay homage to their ancestors, given the history of Natchez, Mississippi. So you say after it's business as usual. Huey P. Newton, places like New Black Panther Party, Fred Hampton, all of those gun clubs, all those militias. To some level, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying their efforts solve all. I'm saying the efforts of all of these organizations, whether it be charity work, whether it be bringing on new membership to get people prepared and trained with firearms and this and that, whether it be networking with each other, because a lot of these guys are business owners and a lot of these organizations, any means necessary to be able to, whether it be economics, whether it be training together, whether it be all of these things. Of course, don't get me wrong, I feel like in a lifetime, we probably won't be able to do enough to fully get our people out of the situation that we're in. But when I say as far as how active and how consistent and how persistent all these organizations have been so far, you know, I mean, the charity work, giving back, firearms training, going through our communities, networking with people from all around the United States, many chapters everywhere. There's things already set in place. There's things that we already do and have been doing and to continue to do. And that helps our people, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, maybe we don't as far as we want to, but as far as the effort goes, the consistency never, it ain't no breaking what we do.
Yo, when you say when y'all don't go as far as you want to, right?
You know, I mean, pretty far, don't get me wrong, Huey P. Newton is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, between different chapters, you got different people that make their particular state and this and that. They may run things their way. But, you know, just like any other organization.
Do you guys have a mission statement?
Huh?
Guys have a mission statement?
I would have to pull it to get every word right.
I would also like to get your thoughts on, okay, you know these organizations exist. Your organization exists. The shooting that happened that killed our ancestors, elders, right? Murdered by this lone wolf. Do you know that there's precautions or steps that's being taken for the aftermath that just happened? Or are we just going to be a year from now marching in the street paying homage to our ancestors?
So what you're trying to get at is there an action plan for certain situations like this, either after the fact or set in place before the fact, like a quick reaction plan?
Of course, there always is. You know, of course, you want to discuss any war strategies over.
Right.
No. I ain't trying to get no juice.
We don't even need to know the details.
As long as you be like, yeah, there are things that we have set up for certain situations like this, whether it be after the fact or trying to gain traction so we could be prepared before the fact. That's dope enough right now. You know what I'm saying? That's dope enough right now. Man, we really need to talk offline.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I'm not. How do you say? There's many levels up in anything like this. I can only dedicate so much time to what I'm a part of. Of course, you know, outside of the militia, I'm a marksman anyway. You know, I was doing this shit long before Huey P. Newton. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Exactly.
They, you know, as far as like, you know, like you're saying, like, even hinting towards, like, say, deeper things about like strategies, or you say before or after the fact is readiness, is preparedness. It wouldn't be an organization if it didn't have fail-safes in place already, which they do have. You know what I mean? And you got to remember too, no organization is perfect by any means.
Fact.
But this is what I sleep comfortably on, is that they're committed. Who I know, as far as this chapter for Huey P. Newton and a few other chapters or different organizations, I know these men or these organizations are committed. They may not be where everybody wants them to be or think that they should be, but as far as being consistent and not, I mean, I'm not talking consistent as in maybe at the end of the day, it's bringing as much membership aboard as you can and getting your people trained. That's doing God's work.
Right.
Like, we the people of God that he says that he'll come back to save. I say, what part do you play? If I'm taking my brother, my sister, bringing them into an organization to teach them how to defend themselves on a small scale, I feel like I've done my job. If I give you a skill that may or may not keep you and your family here a little bit longer, I really feel like that's a job well done. You a small speck in the big spectrum of the whole. So I say, as far as what Huey P. Newton has done, plans to do, and is doing, I'd never be the end all be all. But as far as being consistent, they've always been, they always will, and they always have. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, nothing's perfect. You know what I mean? You know,
I got something that I want to ask, but
I done selected myself to be the ambassador of bullshit. So it's like I'm gonna come through speaking I'm gonna go through the levels of all the gun clubs, and I see the motherfuckers passing out sandwiches. I'm gonna ask questions.
yeah.
And I'm gonna be the ambassador of bullshit, because now it's the first time.
it may be good ass sandwiches. You never know.
Hey man.
I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna take a sandwich. I ain't gonna say I'm not gonna eat one. But I'm just saying it gotta be more additives to that. You know,
hey, pickles.
That shouldn't be the first thing we think about. When it's a man shooting, that shouldn't be the first thing we think about. Let's grab all the sandwiches and bring,
No.
on site,
What you see on the news, that's just what you see. I'm sure it has a lot of mass shooting.
Yeah.
depends on how much they make available for you to see. You got to remember, they can throttle it up, they can slow it down. Tragedies have always happened on this scale. You say, like, for example, as much as we're seeing it on now, this shit has always been going on. I mean, you got to really think about, these are the handful of the big conglomerate news stations that may or may not run the story when and as they see fit. What you see is the iceberg of what's really been going on.
What's really going on? Right.
So I look at it like this. This is a country that's on its way out. This is a country that's falling. This is a country that is sitting things that flying. There's some things walk around and just human nature going down the toilet. You know what I'm saying? So I say, if when you know that, and it's pretty obvious by now, politics, all of that don't mean nothing, man. At the end of the day, these motherfuckers will kill you. If
Off the bat.
Hey, let me stop you right there. See, when you say these motherfuckers will kill you, right? This is for you, King LB. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it? Me personally, how do I?
Be thorough about it, like, hey, knowing that, okay, I'm involved in something, knowing that these motherfuckers will kill me if I get too close. What's going through your head?
I welcome it.
My nigga. My nigga. My nigga. My nigga.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is because no matter how trained I am, I can't do nothing to stop you from killing me. But
hey,
I'm
bruh.
And I think it's a time. I think it's a time now that as we awaken more people, and like you say, as we be more awake to the surroundings and everything, we putting on a strategy to like you say, all the gun clubs and all that is come to the point to where you either gonna have to be exposed and do your job, or or suffer the consequences of just staying in the dark. So it's like I'm all for malicious activity for the black community. You see what I'm saying? But it's gonna have to become a point to where everybody's gonna have to know how to communicate. Because this a whole black community that don't even know.
See, hey, check this out, man. Check this out, man.
It's 100 different moving pieces.
Hey,
right.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut y'all, but brother, you say there's a time where we're gonna have to learn how to communicate, right? Mm-hmm. We've been saying that line for the fucking longest.
For the longest.
So what if I now hold on to that, big dog? You know what I'm saying? King LB, what if I told you that I knew some people that knew a plan that can get all of us out of park?
Any good information to benefit the whole. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
What I was trying to get at is, when we have all these parts, like you said, it's a bunch of parts moving, but when none of the parts are in sync or in line, or we're not able to, when the European New Gun Club are ready to be active and move, and then you got other entities, like you say, it's a bunch of moving parts.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have to come a time, which I see that's what's happening, but I don't think the sense of urgency is where it needs to be. It's like the more organizations and everything else, everybody's gonna have to get in sync in the black community as a whole. Meaning, it doesn't matter if you want to be a militia, like you said, it got to be a lot of moving parts, passing out sandwiches, whatever the case may be. But there's gonna have to be a time where we're gonna have to stop and get a ground-based organization with just every black man on a given day. We have to be able to meet up a million people Just like, just to meet up for no goddamn, we have to be in sync.
You got
from somewhere.
45 million of us in this country. We don't million. But this is my thing too. Remember, we need all of those things. You got to remember who benefits the most of us not getting to that point. You got to remember, it is somebody that's going to throw a monkey wrench in between us doing or being a community. All those things you say, it'll always be a roadblock. But my thing is, you know who puts the roadblock there.
Yeah.
That's no excuse or no reason to say that we should try harder, which I do believe we are trying there yet. But you got to more and more and more, like we are unified. It'll always, the government will always be there to try to fuck. I mean, they would, you know what I mean?
Yo.
But with that respect, I get what you're saying, and yes, you're 100% right. That should be, but you got to remember, it ain't us. That's the reason we can't go ahead and just get it all the way together. There's always somebody with a hidden hand behind things that's either trying to stop or slow us from doing those things. Always. So when you say we,
you need to question that.
Right. Okay. Well, here's my thing.
You need to question that.
It's just my opinion on it. And I know that I'm not the first one and won't be the last with the same opinion. And because we all walking on one accord. So I'm seeing it happen. So it's like, just on the simplest form, because I see all the militias, all the leaders, they getting together, they got what they're going to do. We know you can't tell the intel and this and that. Ops is all over the goddamn place. And that's just in the black community. We ain't talking about, Cracker Man yet. We ain't talking about none of that. We just talking about getting together without having a black man snitching and telling everything that's going on, or him, trying to infiltrate or murder you because he thinks like the Caucasian.
You gotta, you take your favorite rap, your hustles, your pots. It's always gonna be one sellout mother.
Yeah.
Hey.
Y'all got me drinking tonight, man. Goddamn. This shit heavy.
The enemy, no white person is gonna come in with the Buffalo thing, but I think before the Buffalo thing, you come to his looks.
Man, I need to really hear what you're saying, man. It broke up again. Just take a pause.
I said, usually, enemy come directly. They'll get they'll pay somebody that looks like you, and then to you like a puppet. You got to remember. So you say your Nipsey Hussles, your all of these public figures with these mysterious deaths that were killed by somebody that looks by them. You take somebody like a paid informant, somebody got 5,000, 10,000, X amount of money or whatever to get you sent in to. When they want to get at you, they'll use somebody on their behalf to send to you to do they bidding.
That's a close grip.
Oh,
Easy access.
Right.
Exactly. Look at it. If the white man came into your community and you take somebody as prestigious and somebody that was doing something as amazing as Nip, and I'm just using him as an example. I'm not going to dig into that.
Right.
Take somebody of that caliber that was doing what he was doing on that level. On the level of the economics, when you're trying to stir your people or get your people together on the economic level, you would threat. They killed them. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nobody that don't look like us going to come in, but it's something that's good from us. They're going to sell out to come in. That's supposed to be good for.
Hey, you know what? Let me just keep it funky. Can I keep it funky?
Do what you do.
I used to trap. You know what I'm saying? I used to be the king of the trap, as a matter of fact. I used to run the trap. And when I used to run that motherfucker, man, I used to look at them and tell them to focus, man. You know what I'm saying? I used to always keep my eyeballs zeroed in on people that moved around me, man. I used to memorize things that they would say to me, right, especially when I felt like they was talking from the heart under the influence, you know what I'm saying? What my thing is, I got ghetto eyes, you know what I'm saying? I got ghetto eyes, so I can see shit. I can feel shit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to understand is this: how do we always get infiltrated and that sense don't kick in to where we can spot the snake before he strikes?
Nobody thinks alike. What your idea of freedom is? Some of us black people, they think they already free, bro. I mean, they don't even see the obstacles that's right in front of their face. You know, they happy with their 9 to 5. They don't feel the pain of another human being. They don't, if they're not happening to them in their home, their family member didn't get touched, it's not a bother to them. So it's hard to get them out of that captivity to feel pain as a whole. And that's where we lack. And that's what I'm trying to get with like-minded individuals like yourself. So I see that's exactly the key that's missing. We don't have the capacity to feel for others to the degree that it should bother you that you are living a good life, that you do have a happy home, but then 10 of your mothers and fathers just got murdered. Mm-hmm. So before we can even talk about the march and all that, we have to come together. No point intended, no religion or nothing like this. We have to come together in harmony just for that, just because of that. We have to prove to ourselves that we can stand as one for more than one day. 10 million motherfuckers should be able to say, on this day or this week, we got the access to do it through this podcast shit. And we all need to be on the fucking, with no agenda. Just, because that's where it starts.
Hey, and on the cool.
We got gun clubs marching. We got activists doing this. I'm the angry black man. I'm cussing out at everybody. And, you know, and we got church people who think everybody's wrong when you got to pray to Jesus. So it's like we have no solid. I'm
just gonna say this. Hey, niggas ain't gonna want to like what I say. Niggas ain't gonna want to like what I say. And I'm just gonna say it. All us niggas, bruh, all these organizations, all these, man, if I was back then, I would have blah, blah, blah. All our asses in the same position, and it's called park. No, let me finish. We wave our tail feathers.
Yeah, but we don't know. Okay, I'm going to have to interrupt, though, because this is what I'm trying to get at, is that I'm noticing that everything that everybody's doing is like we're all waking up, and I love it.
It's fucking safe.
Wait, listen to me, King. But it's just like your trucking company. If we don't get together, you have no idea that I've been in the trucking industry for 15 goddamn years and had my own truck. You see what I'm saying? Until we just spoke on it. But we got to start a foundation and get somewhere. So I got some bricks to give you.
Exactly.
So, and then I was being separate. You running your own truck company. I'm doing my trucking shit. We passing each other on the street. We never got there to speak. But then we show up when it's time because the gas prices are high. We'll show up down the street.
And that's a bit to say too, on the level of economics that you on it. I'm probably not built up to a level of which you are, but outside of self-defense, that's one thing. Now let's move over to a level of economics. Another thing that we, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but my point is that I think we, as a whole, all the organizations, all the activists, as a whole, we have to dumb that down so we can have a base to start on. So we have to enlighten. It's like this. We have to enlighten everybody that these organizations, this stuff exists.
Hey, if they're gonna be, if they're gonna be the face of defense, right, that needs to be a midpoint where at least all heads get together under some sort of an umbrella where if things go down, we all can get activated together. Because look, I'm just gonna say this, man. Yeah, on the subject that I want to lay down to y'all, back in the gap, like around my father's generations and all that, right? Them brothers was ready to get active.
Right.
You feel me? And them brothers got active, and those that didn't get killed got time.
Right.
Heavy.
But it's almost like I see the fact of where every single organization in the black community is missing that one boat. It's like we got all the parts and pieces, but we forgot to put the boat that will connect the truck to the goddamn trailer.
Bruh, niggas
You know,
need.
and I'm trying to put it as simple as I can.
The brothers need to get together.
No militias. I'm not stepping on anybody toes who's doing the work, but I'm like, okay, let's go one level lower than that, and we have to.
Yo, what if we?
In other words, we need to be able to unite with.
Yo, what if we?
Listen to me, Big Dog. Listen to me.
I was goddamn talking and I couldn't even get my point.
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm saying is this, man. Fuck all that rerun talking and shit. Fuck all that marching. Fuck all that showcasing. Fuck all that motherfucking recruiting. Because in the long run, when you get done doing that shit, 20 years down the line, it's the same shit. 20 years down the line again, it's the same shit. 20 more years down the line again, it's the same shit. What's the end result? So what I'm saying is, I'm talking about me and you now, big dog, and I'm talking about King Khan. If we put our paper together and let's say we secure a venue, can we get these? I don't need everybody. I just need the ones who is respected under their roofs to sit down with some other excellent minds and devise one firm and final strategy. Because in me, I feel like this matrix that we're stuck in, right? This is a certain type of life, right? That we're learning along the way. We tired as a motherfucker. It's been on repeat. Goddamn, I'm starting to feel like life is, if this is a game, we need to beat it in order for it to stop.
True. But
Fuck.
On top of that, though, King, it's like, from the level I'm coming in at, so you have a person now that's brilliant enough to know that the stuff I want to implement, I just got activated as a king. You know, Yahweh just touched me. You feel me? So, but I'm smart enough to know that everything I'm going to put in militia-wise and all that I can tap in to the brothers. I can tap into the militias. I can tap in and ask all the questions I need to catch up, to elevate the ones who don't know, all the ones who just not getting active. But if we don't have no bottom base for a person that's coming in like me, then we're gonna sound like we're against what's going on instead of wanting to be a part of what's going on. So we have no base for anybody who's coming in as a black person who's identifying themselves as, I'm a king now.
Hey, I gotta be honest. The slow movement is better than no movement.
Yeah, true.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We ain't where we need to be, but you can't sit there and I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but you can't tell me that we ain't making movement.
Oh yeah,
we making movement. You know, maybe it's gonna speed up. You know what I mean, and be what it should be. But we making movement.
I think that it can speed up.
We definitely are. We definitely are making movement.
I think that it can.
But here's what happens. Here's what's happening now. The movement is so great now. What you guys have done and what you're doing is wakening up other good people. It's waking up families, kings, men. So the militias are there, the activist part is there, everything else we need to do, but we're not, the head leaders are not coming together to do the simple, not the big stuff. The simplest thing is have a foundation for everybody that's pouring in, which not I don't know if I'm saying it right, but not the joining of the militia or showing up with your guns or whatever, just the people who's tapping in. And then we need to find out the base of where are you in your fight for this justice? What can be, you see what I'm saying? And so it's like, but all of us have to be tapped in at the same time. The militia can't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
The activist person can't do it alone. But the activist people hate the militias, and militias can't move around and do what they do to protect people that don't know. We still gonna be in the same boat. And then you're gonna find out you got people in the community that don't want to go as far as we'll take it if the time comes. So we have to have a foundation to know that these people here is the ones that we're protecting. Mm-hmm. And these are the ones who are already enlightened. But we have to do it with just the pen and our body showing up. Because we tell half our black men, they sleep. Hey, man, without even mentioning militia, this is how asleep we are. Without even mentioning we need guns, we need this, the world is coming to an end, or whatever the hell everybody's mind is at. We can't say, black men, on Friday, everybody tap in. Every black man tap in. Niggas gonna be, we got excuses, we got things we have to do, we can't make it because we don't feel the urgency. So how do we need that level is what we need to tap in on.
Now, when you say the ability to do that, I gotta disagree with that. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan proved to us at the Million Man March that we can galvanize, that we can get together. It's been done.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Since that time and stuff like that, spawned other great men groups. All of these things. Don't get me wrong. And my thing is this: when your intentions are pure, I can't knock you for that. Don't get me wrong. I may not agree with what the approach some organizations like take towards, what we to as a people get done, of course, or whatever, but like, your intentions are pure. Don't get me wrong, it's going to always be something to start up, it's always going to be something to finish. But my thing is, still moving. And you got to remember, we may have been able to stick to fulfillment of any of the shit that we talk about. But my thing is, at a period when you just so linking of every thing, you know what I mean? I look at it like to be alive down and to know that things are going toward the direction they need to be. Man, it may be years from now before we get all the way together. My thing is, what's coming, I execute an effect is necessary for like critical conversations, is speed and accelerate, the process there. You know what I mean? So something like this, I never left on a note of feeling like, well, there's no solutions out there, and that this right here can be done and be done with the show, and it's still gonna work later. You feel me?
Yeah.
What's that word I'm looking for? It's all I can't think of that word I'm looking for right now, but like I said, like whether it be booking a venue or people coming to the temple, it's like getting some like-minded people. But you gotta people listen to you and me and you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that might be a person, one day to be inspired by you. That may be.
Hold on, we got to figure out why it's spotty again. It happened when you tapped that again.
Oh yeah,
Big P.
Is your phone echoing off or something?
Yeah, you got your. Can you mute your phone for a sec, P?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Probably. Let's see, turn it back on, see if it do the same thing.
No, it's doing it now.
No, you clear now.
Oh.
Yeah, you all clean. I think what we was getting at was what, Big Q?
I agree with everything that you're saying. It's like, but this is what's needed, right? Exactly what we're doing right now.
A link up.
What's needed, and this is not even like it's just getting people on a like-minded level before we even announce or start talking about the problems at hand. We have to know that, okay, the level of brotherhood needs to be where it's at, even from tapping in to like a Farrakhan or like, the gun club that you have and all that. We have to get to a point to where the meetings have to start showing up, whether it be by telegram, telephone, or in person, we're gonna have to start showing up in unity before anything, and that's the direction that the gun marches and the gun clubs is going.
Yeah.
I understand that, I see that, but as the level of awakening of the minds that's coming, I don't think y'all are ready for the floodgates of 1,000 niggas that think like I think. 1,000 niggas that want to jump on board, and we all scratching the get the shit. Let's get it right. So it's like,
Hey,
I
man.
think the bottom level or the entry level needs to be a more urgency.
Hey.
Hear what you're getting at?
Hey, man. I know.
I don't know if I'm saying the right word, but as a brotherhood.
I know some people.
It's like this. The simplest way I can put it is, since all four of us are on the phone now we know every time the phone rings, the urgency of picking that phone up is different. That's where we have to be first with everybody, every black man we meet. Once we come in contact with him and we say, brother, how do you feel about the black community and what's going on? If you feel that way, you need to tap into this call. And then we don't have no agenda. We just have to start setting an agenda for black people to be there. That's what we're missing. Then, as experienced as you are in militia, we got to get their attention first. Sit their ass down. We got to have 1 million men got to sit your ass down and sit still.
It's all about being a magnetizing person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, man, let me tell you something, bro.
Even you, Eric. You know what I'm saying? You got a quality about yourself that's magnetizing. So just come onto something like this and to listen to you ain't nothing. I like to sit through, lectures and stuff like that. I feel like when you magnetize, I'll take a 4-hour lecture. That shit feel like 10 minutes. Like the way you talk. Like I watched a handful of yours, by the way, too. It kept my attention. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't hard to keep my attention. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
As far as somebody that may or may not have a solution, may or may not have an idea to try, may at the very least can get enough people to listen to where now at least these handful of people know each other. Maybe they involved in something, they can collaborate on things. They're unified now. Like, take your idea in an event center to promote it, to run a campaign on it, to try to get as many people to show as you can.
Well, you know what? It ain't even about as many.
Yeah.
It's the right people.
The right people, exactly. So
You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's say spiritually, right? Let the spirit lead the way. Whoever it's meant for will get it.
Yeah.
It's about creating the plan and walking in faith in it. You know what I'm saying?
And my point I was getting at is by as many of the right people as you can to get to be a part of something like that, you, just by what you set up, you now put this person with that person, this person with that person. They may be able to get with each other on the level of business. This one may be an activist. This one may be a part of a gun club. This one may have come out. You literally, you say you bring 10 people out. And out of those 10 people, hell, maybe 8 of them, become tight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You quite literally unified just a small handful of people. You know what I'm saying? You bringing people together.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And you, as King LB, there's nothing else. I want you to answer this. Knowing that what you know about the track record so far and the direction of where we going, right, and what we're trying to create and promote and enhance and hopefully affect people with. If I told you that we was going to have a trip to the mountains, right?
I just came at the mountains, by the way. Go ahead.
I saw you online. We don't talk, but those that I communicate with, I pay special attention to because it's either for a reason or a season or a lesson or a blessing. We cross paths for a reason. I've yet to find out why yet. Maybe this is a great start. So, would you, if I told you, hey man, based off of what you feel through what you have witnessed so far through the few segments behind this one, right? That we were going to have a gathering in the mountains, right? Where, let's say, all you had to do was just get to the location. Would you get to the location?
I definitely have to plan my off time. So, you know, like I said before, I can take my off time anywhere I want. So, and don't get me wrong, you know, on the level of business, I got to make sure I stay in business. But like, if I know something way beforehand, you know, of course, you know, even with this, with the Natchez, Mississippi thing too, you know, I just recently started doing what I do. So the plans I already had are kind of screwed up now for that fact. And the reason I say that is to compare it to what you just asked me. Could I get there? Now things are pretty even, pretty smooth, I know what I'm doing, I know my schedule, you know, all of that stuff. So now it's a safe bet to say, yeah, I could.
Now check this out.
And that's the link. That's the link that uh, that needs to be started for every black man.
Hey,
Right?
without suspicion.
That way we can get enough in the vicinity to touch before we even acknowledge what areas that you would like to participate in to help the culture of our black people. So we're stuck to where we know that entities exist, and then we want to join as a member. I don't think well, it's just my opinion, that we're gathering enough in one area to be able to communicate and heal ourselves and hear everybody out in that, everybody in that room needs a healing, you know, from whatever struggle that they coming in, how they feel about the situation, talking about stuff, and then we're able to elevate to the next level. Well, we have the militias over here, we have the activists over here, we have this organization over here. I see it being done, but it's not to the level to where for the people who's awakening up, we have no base, you know, and we can create a base, you know, and that could be a pool that all militias, all activists pull from.
Right.
You know, we have the technology to do that. You know, this whatever we call it, but for people who are wakening up and don't know that militias exist or whatever, they angry, they violent, they cussing, doing it, and then we sit back as experienced ones that are knocking motherfucker head off, saying, well, see, cause we end up reaching down and explaining instead of doing the work. We do too much of on the field training. We don't even realize we done fell into the Caucasian way of how to even fight. These motherfuckers you can't get a job no more if you don't have experience. They don't train. Now they want to do on-the-job training. So you gonna fuck up the whole goddamn company will go down before you learn what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
So we have to have a place. Okay, well, we just need a common base.
You know, and I really feel like on the level of economics again, it's been time. How you say, do for yourself.
Yeah.
I get that. You need a skill. I mean, this country's ran off the skills, services, the whole nine, etc. I really feel like, I mean, you understand by being a business owner, the type of freedom that you have, you don't got no ceiling on how you can go. You know what I'm saying? So you say that's a skill set, you know what I'm saying? That's something you can offer to your people. You say you got 100 trucks, you can hire your own, you know, and this and that. I think a lot.
I didn't say 100 trucks.
Hey, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation if he had 100 trucks. Hey, he'd be too far to reach, man, with that type of money, man.
I appreciate that.
Just on the level of, you know, saying doing for yourself. You know what I mean? You say coming away from day jobs. And there's nothing wrong with working day jobs. There's something wrong with never planning to go and do something.
To get out of the rat race, right? To get out of the rat race, yeah.
But like I said, that's another skill you got. So you say, if I got the spirit of defense, you got the spirit of economics, you got something to give to the people. I got something to give to the people.
I got this. I got the spirit of whoop ass.
Hey,
Hey, and I whoops it well. I whoops that ass well, man. Hey.
And it's just a matter of we coming from an angle to where we're gonna be talking to guys like yourself and talking to other organizations that already exist, is already doing it, and it's just a piece of the puzzle that we see, like, man, this is what's lacking right here.
Yeah.
Whether it can be implemented or work out or whatever, but at least we on a channel where every black man needs to heal some type of way or whatever we do. That pool of where we all can pull from need to be from the black culture, and some black people don't even realize that they're not living in the black culture.
Speaking.
They don't even realize they live in the white man's culture.
Hey, I be telling my folks all the time, like, y'all so conditioned that you don't even realize that you living as white people feel like is the proper way to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an old phrase in Africa where, like, they say, like, you left here Africans, but you returned Europeans.
yeah.
We don't even know how to be us, bro. Hey, I'm just gonna keep it 100. We don't even know how to be us because we have been trained to be, I want to say, controlling or restraining of that real fire that's in you that want to come out sometimes for the sake of you remaining alive. I guess that's the best way to say it.
I know you guys get mad, well, not mad, but you probably get this all the time. Your numbers go up when something tragic happens because people get
controversy.
Their emotions, now they ready to join. They mad, they pissed off. Once they get there, their mind ain't right. They don't understand what comes with the job of saying you want to be a part of this. So y'all have to go through a certain type of training to get them there. So that's the part. The bottom base of what every militia and whatever community activist is doing, I don't think that we're as a whole concentrating on that part as hard as we need to be. That goes with all the church, the Farrakhan's of the world, and everybody else. I think we're doing a good job, but we ain't doing it good enough as a whole, as a community. We're doing it all separate.
Hey, that
we got millions of people, but we need to stop one time.
Hey, that plan.
Put all that shit aside, and then we come together, and then can we be in a room?
We don't have that plan that cast us straight up the gut to the goal line. And also, here's another thing that we have a problem with. Because we do have king's blood flowing through our veins, right? We are overly populated with chief-minded individuals. Probably, if we talking on the level of shit that we talking on right now, right? If we just take that section alone, probably more than the average man, you know what I'm saying, would think. A lot of people are looking up to somebody, you know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of somebodies being looked up to around this motherfucker. So the thing about humbling that nature of I'm a somebody and putting it all in one room, man, we can sit here and talk good goddamn common sense till we blue in the face on this damn picture screen, right? But that's a personal choice to be real, you know what I'm saying, and to be humble and to be receptive. Here's an example out of my personal life, man. I'm from North Memphis, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Memphis, and you, man, you talk my girl talk just like that man.
I'm just saying, man. Hey, I'm old Memphis though. I'm old Memphis. You know what I'm saying? You can still talk to me. If y'all niggas like, hey, they'll shoot you till your shirt come off, man. They'll shoot you till you set on fire. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm old Memphis. You can still talk to me. Them young cats, we need to work on them, but we still haven't devised a plan how to get through to them because they believe in more what they see than more than what they hear. You got to have something in order for them to believe that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? And right now, the holding program always reside in our creativity. Whatever's extremely popular right now, producing massive funds, athletics, entertainment. That's what they're going to zoom in on and stick the syringe in and inject out. And unfortunately, that's what we see as God as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got people getting up in the morning as a youth, and I can speak for myself, you know what I'm saying? Where your only dream is to do something that probably doesn't really count if we talking about playing the game of life, more like a dream because your emotions are into a situation where you want to change your personal environment, your family's environment, or something like that, right? Our focus level is in an entire different plateau than where it should be. Almost similar to if we want to be materialistic, let's talk about relationships, right? And let's talk about everybody notices the shift in dominance, where the female now has more masculine traits than.
That was all Hollywood.
Huh?
That was all the music and entertainment.
You see where they getting it from. You see what I'm saying. You touching back on what I'm talking about, where the programming.
The artists.
Say again, bro.
I said they're idols, the people they look up to, like the artists, like how you say they look at people like that, like as gods next to a god. So yeah, so you said that shift in dominance and masculinity, like the woman now being like the rapper now. You know,
like basically being the man. So like yo, you know I'm married. I've been out the game for a minute. Y'all better thank God. But I have seen like what people tell me lately. Especially those that's been in a relationship. Once they get out, they try to get back into the scene again and go on right, and it's nothing like what they remembered. It's a completely different ball game now. Like from what in the state of Florida, from what I hear here, like the women want to know how many followers you get social media wise. You know what I'm saying? Before they even entertain a dude like you, like the first thing is fuck your phone number. Let me see your Instagram. And if you don't,
that's just weird.
I guess this is what they've been grooming over time since the creation of the net, and
yeah,
our seeds and the generation up under us has
yeah, but see, me being
falling into it.
Me being an old head, all I could, I can't blame nobody under 50, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to drop the ball on expressing the dangers of what we facing, because we all fell victim to that bubble that our grandmothers and grandfathers put. They fought the struggle of racism and slavery and all that. They put us in the bubble while they was thriving, So for us not to gravitate, we thriving off their struggle. We're thriving, and it's very alarming that we don't feel the urgency to protect that part of thriving. So when you hear a black militia is coming, us as blacks, they are fucking afraid of black militias. So we have to educate all the sleeping black people that this is okay. That's the reason why we're doing the marches and everything. We have to expose it more. But I'm watching it, and I'm like, as it get more exposed and the black militias get bigger, it's like what we're talking about. It's alarm got to be set out the world. We're going to have to tell all these entities about the smaller base that's going to flood y'all.
Bruh.
Flood
but the kick of
it's
it,
a good thing.
They know though. They know.
Hey, I got a quick question for you, fam. Hey,
Yeah.
you're going to be hosting this again tomorrow, right?
For sure.
Hey, I'm going to get my children settled for the night, bro. Tomorrow, I want you to pass me in again on this. Is everybody going to be on here? Or you going to have...
We can make it happen. You good, Pete?
I can't wait to see you put this up on YouTube, family. I'm gonna spend some time with the church because I gotta leave tomorrow to get back on the road. So I'm gonna dedicate the rest of my night to hang out with them.
No doubt.
But definitely want to be back on tomorrow, bro. I got a little space in the back of my truck. I can set me up, like a little back room. But I definitely want to be on, and I'm gonna make it a point. Around 5 or 6 o'clock, I make sure I'm done with my driving by that point, so I can tap in whenever you get ready to get back on it. But man, I salute all of y'all. Man, it's I've never been on something like this ever.
Already.
So I really like it, bro. I really like the platform. I really like, I hate to stick to a script. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I don't like this.
Just be you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this what I was talking to my dog about. Like, I think it was you. Matter of fact, I don't like it where people get online and got to dress themselves up a certain way so that you can accept them through a certain image. When you push stop, you're going to go back and be a nigga again. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this what I'm bringing to the table. I'm not perfect by far. I'm an educated black man, but I'm a hood baby. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be free, and I want y'all to be free.
We all have to just like what everybody's doing, and understand that we all kings, man, and this is part of our healing. Yeah, coming together.
Hey.
All live and uncut. You see where I'm reporting from, man. I'm in the bed.
Hey,
already.
Man, all I'm gonna say is, man, we go cut it right here. We're gonna call this a part 1, right? And then, Lord willing, we can continue the part 2 tomorrow and finish it on out. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this, man, this has been a healthy and inspiring night. We know now that we got to get King Khan to mute his phone so that the vocals can come through clearly, which is also dope. If you guys stayed through this show and fought through the little technical difficulties, man, I definitely appreciate you. That means you after something, and there was definitely something in here. I pray and hope that you did gain. I will say this, Angry Black Man, my big brother, big dog, you already know what it is, man. I love you, brother, man. Thank you for coming through again.
Yeah, I'll put it in park. I may be full of that drink tomorrow.
Tomorrow is going down. I'm gonna match you tomorrow, man.
But the bottom line, I know what's missing, man. Yeah, you know.
Hey, I'm gonna say that too.
Cherry, but I got the boat to hold the motherfucker together. That's it.
Say that. Hey, King Khan, my man, you already know what it is. It's going down. You got anything you want to say before we go, King Khan?
Nah, man, I'll holler at all y'all, man. Y'all have a good night, bro.
Hey, man, this been fire. Hey, before we go, I done gave y'all to y'all flowers. Let me get the King LB, man. King LB, man. That man out there, dirty Dallas, Texas, man. That dirty dub, man. Hey, man, look. All I want to do is say, man, thank you for agreeing to come on the show. I had no clue that this was your first time doing something like this, man. I will say, dog, you a natural. You know what I'm saying? You a natural, bro. You know what I'm saying? And not only are you a natural, man, you don't come with no flim-flam. You know what I'm saying?
They kept me calm the whole time. I couldn't even cuss at the motherfucker.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? The angry black man didn't have to get angry tonight. You know what I'm saying? So, my brother, tomorrow, if it's in the will of the Most High, we will be back here to complete this tomorrow evening, man. And thank you. Thank you straight up. I will say this to everybody out there watching. Motherfucker, like, share, click the goddamn bell, subscribe, and keep this motherfucker black, please, for the moment. I don't want the enemy in here yet trying to shut us down before we get to popping like grease, man. So I will ask this. If you want to share this motherfucker, do it through DM or do it through your text messaging, man. Also, if you don't want to leave an ugly-ass message on this page right here, man, because you don't want nobody to know you and what you got going on, take your ass on over to Instagram look up the Born Again Believers MF. THE Born Again Believers MF.
Hey, this goes out to all the men out there who want to be. You feel a king inside of you. You don't know what to do. We all confused. We all feel the same way. We all got a little part of us that's angry. We got a little part of us that know we have to do our life. Like we got family. They trying to paint the picture like we don't have family. All the other shit. We got to start from the ground level, and that's just knowing that we all the same.
And I will say this again. I will say this again before we exit out. I know a couple of fellas with a plan.
I know some fellas that know some fellas that know some fellas. Let's get it done.
That know some fellas, you know what I'm saying? That's got a plan.
And that go to you rich motherfuckers too.
Hey, that go to you rich motherfuckers.
You confused, you feeling black, you feeling proud, you feel your kingship, you don't know what to do, how to chime in, just chime in and voice your opinion, because your money don't count when your heart hurts.
The Born Again Believers MF Instagram. The Born Again Believers MF Instagram, man. That's on Instagram. The Born Again Believers MF. Go follow that junk. Go follow that junk. Stay in position. Stay dangerous. And like always I say, peace, man. Love, man. Y'all know what it is. Salute to everybody that was in the mix, man. 100, man. 100.